This week on the GameCritics.com podcast, 3DS and the future of mobile gaming. What role will smartphones play, and will PSP play any role at all? Plus, our most anticipated games of 2011, and one of our hosts achieves humanity's highest honor. Who is it? What is it? Find out next. The 2011 premiere of the GameCritics.com podcast starts right now. Welcome to episode 48 of the GameCritics.com podcast. I'm Tim Spaeth. It's been so long, this almost feels like a reunion episode. So let's reunite with my beloved co-hosts. We'll find out how they spent their winter hiatus, and we'll start with our long-lost founder and owner, Chi Kong Lu. Chi, it's been too long, sir.
Hey, Tim. How's it going, man? Yeah, I missed you guys.
We missed you. And, we missed you for our big finale.
Yeah, that was a heck of a show, by the way. Good work on that, everyone.
Thank you so much. Well, what were you doing while we were doing that?
I was in the Philippines, visiting my wife's family.
We saw many pictures that you sent back, and it all seemed to be of enormous, just piles of strange-looking food.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of good eating there. Yep. Mm-hmm. And I did. Sorry, I did manage to also meet up with our GC forum poster and moderator known as Night Dreamer on Twitter.
Our dear friend Night Dreamer, and you sent a picture, and the two of you looked so friendly together. What was that experience like, meeting Night Dreamer?
Oh, that was actually really, really cool. I mean, he was a really nice guy, you know. Very, very friendly, and he had some really nice gifts for my son, which really surprised me. So, I don't know what to call him because he's got like 3 different names. I don't know if I should use his real name, which might be inappropriate, and calling him Night Dreamer seems so strange.
Just call him that. But I gotta know, Chi. I gotta know. Night Dreamer has been around Game Critics for like forever. I mean, he's like a real old school forum poster, and he's been around like since as long as I can remember. So he's definitely got some history with the site, and I really have to know.
Yeah.
At any point, did you guys just really hug, just like really intensely?
No. And actually, if you know the history between us, we've gotten into it on a few topics.
Yeah, you guys have had a few exchanges over the years.
Yeah, and I guess our most notorious debate was over the Michael Bay's Transformers, and no, we did not rehash that, thankfully. And although much to also to some regret as well, because I'm sure on some level we did kind of want to get into it, but we just didn't have the time for that. I mean, I met him at a mall, and he showed me around this mall that he wanted me to take me around, that had a lot of cool toy stores. Like a lot of geektastic toy stores in the mall. A lot of robots and anime toys and stuff like that. And so it was really cool.
Sounds like a dream come true for you.
Yeah.
A night dream come true for you. Thank you so much. I'll be here all
He's been saving that for weeks.
Well, Chi, it's great to have you back in the States, and great to have you back on the show. Let's also say hello to Brad Gallaway. Hey, Bradley. How are you, sir?
Hey, guys. Hello. Good to be with you again.
And how did you spend your winter hiatus?
I worked a lot. I freelance quite a bit. Don't want to get into that too much, but, the holidays are always really slow, so I always find myself kind of just working as much as I can. Otherwise, I end up sitting at home on the couch, and bills don't get paid that way. But on the plus side, my son was here. He did a quick couple minutes on the last podcast, and so most of my free time was with my oldest son, and that was really a good time. Other than that, Just chilling with the family and getting frustrated by my inability to run PC games. So I think that's how I spent most of my off time.
We should carve out some time to talk about you versus Amnesia, because it's an interesting story, and I think it's worth telling. So we will definitely come back to that at some point. Brad, welcome back. Let's move on to and you're not only the horror geek, Mike.
Yes.
But you are also America's premier resource for Hillary Swank news and analysis.
Yes, I am.
It is such an honor to have you with us, Mike Bracken. How are you?
Well, thank you. I hope I'm the next best thing to having Hillary Swank herself on the show. So I am. I'm good. I had a nice break, nice holidays with the family, and today I did something momentous, something that's been a very long time coming. I actually went out and bought a PlayStation 3.
I was like, what?
Yeah, so now I finally own all three of this generation's consoles.
Oh,
So-
our little Mikey's growing up.
I know, right? I know. I can't believe it took this long.
Wait, way to screw up your New Year's resolution right off the bat.
I know, right? So, yeah. GameStop had this deal where you got a $50 gift card if you bought one. I had a bunch of gift cards already at GameStop, so it wasn't like spending real money. So I went out and picked one up, and I picked up Demon Souls because I really wanted to play that, so I'll finally get to play that, and the first Uncharted because I wanted to play that. So picked those up. Looking forward to like Game Flying, Heavy Rain at some point, and some of these other exclusives. But yeah, finally have a PS3. Pretty excited.
Well, congratulations. And how many hours into your first firmware update are you?
Actually, that's really it's really funny because I'm like, I was thinking about it when I was standing in line. How long am I going to have to set this thing up and wait before I can even play anything on it? Fortunately, it only took like about 25 minutes after I hooked it up to download and install the first thing. So not as fast as I would have preferred it to be, not probably as fast as it would have been on the 360, but I mean, I guess it's all right.
Mike,
So, we'll see.
words to remember there? The first thing.
Yes.
First.
Your journey has only just begun.
Yes.
Well, great to have you back on, Mike. Sitting quietly in the corner, the fifth member of our little posse here, Richard Nyack. Hey, Richard.
Hey, Tim. What's up?
We're just doing a podcast. We're telling
really?
We're telling stories about what we did over the hiatus. Do you have one to share?
I sold my PS3. I no longer own one.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Fun. And you?
I don't think I had turned it on in at least 3 months, probably even longer than that.
And
so it's like my Wii.
Yeah, and my Wii's getting close to the chopping block too.
So did you exchange it for something, or are you holding on to the cash?
I exchanged it for a few games. I picked up Red Dead Redemption with it. I actually really enjoyed that, and there were just a few other games that I can't remember off the top of my head now.
Yay, another Red Dead fan.
Yeah. And also, World of Warcraft happened.
Mm-hmm.
World of Warcraft happened. We played a little World of Warcraft together.
We did.
Which we will not be able to do because I canceled my World of Warcraft account.
Yes, you did.
Oh,
Was it because of Richard?
I saw Richard in Azeroth and I was like, I'm done. I am out of here. No more.
There are some huge revelations on this show tonight.
I know,
Huge.
there's so many twists and turns in this episode. It's like a Spanish telenovela right off the bat.
Yeah. Where is the girl with the big boobs, though?
Well, our sixth member is... Richard, we're going to talk about World of Warcraft and Team Fortress. We still have our wager, our agreement that we need to make. Well, I need to make good on the Team Fortress part, but I want to focus on you for a second. You the person. You have been making regular appearances on this show for I don't know how long. About a year. You've been coming on regularly.
Yeah, something like that.
And I think we would all agree you've been an invaluable contributor, but we've never really addressed your your status. You just kind of showed up and stuck around, but I don't think we've officially identified you. Are you a special guest? Are you a guest star? Are you just a vagabond? We've never specifically said what you are. So to address that, the four of us, Chi, Brad, Mike, myself, we met in Tahoe over the break, and we put your status to a vote. And we unanimously voted to make your status official and offer you a promotion to full co-host of this podcast. Truly, as I mentioned at the top, humanity's highest honor. So, How does that sound to you, Richard? Would you accept this honor?
I do, and I was like, when you first said humanity's highest honor, I'm like, who the hell earned that? But
couldn't have been
yes,
you, for God's sakes.
First, I would like, before I make this deal final, I just want to clear up a few questions that I might have. Are there increased stock options with this promotion?
Chi, can you address that?
Sure, since it's all like vapor stock anyway. Yeah, go nuts.
Okay. And second, do I get the corner office that no one has been using for like 7 months?
Well, we were going to give you a parking space, but if you want the office, I guess.
The parking space is expendable.
All right. I vote yes on the office.
Yeah, let it go. We don't need the storage anyway.
That's fine. Very well.
Now I have to move all my porn out of there, though.
I was going to say, where's Felipe going to go now?
Not back on my lap, that's for sure.
Is Felipe out of prison yet?
Yeah. We'll get back. This is about you, Richard.
Oh.
This is about you. Now, to make this official, I would like to swear you in and have you take, I guess, an oath of office. Do you have a Bible nearby that you could?
I have a copy of Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire.
Next best thing.
Here's the interesting part. I have in my pre-written joke here. How about a Star Wars novel? And you actually have a Star Wars novel. So,
I do.
There you go. So if you could place your right hand on Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire and repeat after me.
Okay.
I, Richard Thelonious Nyack, do solemnly swear.
I, Richard Thelonious Nyack, do solemnly swear.
To faithfully execute the office of co-host.
Shouldn't that be faithfully execute the duties of the office?
Oh, man. You had to go and ruin it. You doing something nice for you here? And,
I mean, faithfully execute. You don't execute an office. That doesn't make any sense.
If it's good enough for the president, I think it's good enough for you.
Okay. I say it again.
To faithfully execute the office of co-host.
To faithfully execute the office of co-host.
Of the GameCritics.com podcast.
Of the GameCritics.com podcast.
That I will plug Aquaria on every show.
That I will plug Aquaria on every show, which I don't have to do now because you just said it.
That I will use statistics both to identify outliers.
That I will use statistics to both identify outliers.
And to lower the self-esteem of MMO players.
And to lower the self-esteem of MMO players.
That I will maintain a thick, rich mustache.
That I will maintain a thick, rich mustache.
Like a young Tom Selleck.
Like a young Tom Selleck.
So say we all.
So say we all.
Well spoken, Richard. And that should just about do it. Only one thing remains. We just need for you to admit that Sonic the Hedgehog was never good, and we're all set.
No, sorry. Sorry, I'm walking away from this table right now.
No, it's just all you have to do is say it, and we're good.
No, not saying it.
Deal breaker.
I mean, you could say the reverse. You could say Sonic the Hedgehog was always bad. If you're more comfortable. That
I am not. I am not. This is a core principle that I am not going to compromise on. I'm sorry, sir, but this negotiation is over.
I guess we could give him probational status as co-host until we can resolve this later at a tribunal.
Sounds good.
Very good.
Sounds good. Yeah.
All right. Well, Richard, we're so happy to have you, and in all seriousness, welcome to full membership of the podcast. And now you got to bring your A game. You got to bring it hard.
Oh man, I got to bring my A game.
Yep.
Damn it.
And you can bring your A game in our main topic, which we're going to transition to right now. Now, our main topic, as I mentioned, 3DS and the future of mobile gaming. Let's start by addressing this week's announcement of the 3DS release date and price. March 25th in Europe, March 27th in North America. No European price announced, but it's $249.99 here in the States. Launch lineup, a little vague. We're not exactly sure what will be available day one, but it looks like Pilot Wings, Nintendogs, Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Kid Icarus, Street Fighter, basically every franchise ever we will see in the launch window for this platform. We know it will have a Game Boy Color Virtual Console. We know any child under 6 who looks at it will be instantly blinded. So, given all that, guys, let's ask the simplest question: are you going to buy one at launch? Chi, I'm going to start with you. I think you spent more time on your DS this year than anyone else. Are you in for 3DS on March 27th?
You know, when it was initially introduced, I was kind of like unsure about it. But now that it's here and it's like $250, I find myself saying yes. You know, like it just didn't. You know, and then of course now you got like this CNET report saying that how it's like a total steal and how Nintendo is gonna like lose money on this, which makes me feel like it's even a better bargain at $250. So, like I said, I'm kind of surprised at myself that I'm actually really looking forward to it. Yes, and I think I will buy it.
And is it given all that? I mean, are there any titles in the lengthy list of launch titles that you would jump on first?
It's not even for any it's not even for any title in particular. It's just more that I'm a big fan of the DS, Nintendo in general, and it's a exciting new platform. I'm kind of into the whole 3D aspect, I suppose. So it's not even any particular title.
So you're in on 3DS. That's great. Because I was worried we were all just straight up no. So I'm glad we have at least one yes.
I mean, I reserve the right to change my mind, if barring some unforeseen financial difficulties. But yeah, as of right now, I'm in.
Fantastic. Mike Bracken, I think DS, I think RPGs, I think of you. What about you? Are you in for 3DS?
I am in, but not at launch. For me, looking at the launch list, there's just nothing there that makes me feel like I have to go out and have one day one. I think I'm going to wait until some more of the games come out during the course of 2011, and if we get some RPGs or something else that really grabs my attention that I feel like I really need to play, then I would probably jump in at that point. I fully suspect that I'll have one, by the end of 2011. I just don't know that I'm going to jump in like day one. So, but I like it. I like the price. I think the price is okay. I was surprised that it was as low as it was. So yeah, I'm definitely interested. Just probably not day one.
It is interesting how it was rumored, in the couple weeks leading up to the announcement, you were hearing rumors of $299, and then $249 all of a sudden seems awfully low in comparison to $299. I had predicted $199, but
didn't we predict after the E3 show or on the E3 show what we all thought it was going to sell for? And I don't remember if this is precise or not, but I thought we all kind of figured it was going to be $300. Did we, or am I remembering that incorrectly?
I don't remember.
Don't remember.
Okay.
No.
I would honestly, my thought was when they announced it, I didn't really, before the $249 came out, I didn't really see how they would do it for less than $300, but I'm happy that they are. So.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because all those rumors you were talking about of $299 and then it actually comes out as $249, you kind of wonder, I mean, obviously I don't know, but I mean, you kind of wonder if that was a intentional marketing tactic to make this $249 seem less
so
by
great.
comparison. Yeah.
Right.
It certainly worked. If that's what it was, it worked.
It did and it didn't, though. Did you? I mean, if you followed Twitter that day, some people were whining about 249 like it was just so outrageous because it was so much more than what the DS had debuted at. But it also seems like it's a lot more handheld than the DS was. So I don't know why people thought they were going to get it for, $200 or less.
Yeah. I actually thought the DS launched at like over 200 as well, and when Tim mentioned that over Twitter that it was 180, that actually kind of surprised me. I was like, wow, it was really that low?
It was 149.
It was 150. Yeah, I thought it was 180.
Wow.
But
that's crazy, yeah. But, inflation and PS3.
Yeah, sorry.
Every Nintendo can thank PS3 for setting that bar so freaking high,
Yeah.
Brad, what about you? Are you in for 3DS at launch?
No, not at launch. Not at all. I mean, I guess the thing that's foremost in my mind is that I've always been kind of irritated by Nintendo's habit of like releasing new versions of the hardware. It seems like
by Christmas there'll be a new one.
Yeah, seriously, it's like somebody puts out an unboxing video, and by the time it finishes downloading from YouTube, there's like a new iteration out on the market.
Yeah, I actually think that's not going to happen for a couple of reasons. One, the original DS, the Fat Boy, came out pre-iPod, iPhone, so yeah, that thing was just an ugly piece of machinery at the time. So when Apple redefined the aesthetics of what gadgets should be, they had to jump on board for that, right? Well, that's not the case now. I mean, everyone's sort of like on the iPhone and that sort of thing, right?
Do you think they had to though? I mean, they dominated the handheld market with that thing, whether it was ugly as a brick or not.
They had to do it to counter the PSP at the time. I mean, that's the reason why they did it, because the PSP came out and it was all sexy and everything, and they were like, boy, we better at least like get on board with that, And
yeah, but don't forget, they put out 85 billion versions of the Game Boy before that. I mean, before there was even the iPhone. I mean, that's their mode of regular.
That's their MO. We went from the color to the micro and
everything, man. There was like version after version after version after version.
The SP came out way after the original Game Boy Advance. That didn't happen very quickly. They spaced it out probably because believe me, if they were doing it left and right, I wouldn't have bought all of them. And I bought all of these things, not because I like throwing around money, but because I thought it was worth it.
I think you kind of like throwing around money, Chi. I think you kind of.
The other reason why I didn't think they were going to necessarily do it is I think they kind of got their yahoos out with the DSi and the XL, so they kind of like, been experimenting around with all that, and I think they've, got their feature set down for this one a little bit better. I could be wrong about that.
You're being way too kind to them.
Yes.
Way too much stock in Nintendo.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
There's gonna be a 3DS Lite, because they'll have to figure out how to make the battery work longer and to make it more sleek, but they'll somehow fit a bigger screen into it or something, and because there'll be something about this one that isn't quite right, that doesn't quite work as well as it might have, and so they'll revise that. And this is one thing I'll give Nintendo credit for. With their handhelds, they do listen to feedback, it seems, and when they do a revision, generally they fix things that were wrong in the first iteration. So I'm okay with that. I mean, it sucks if you buy a first generation or the current generation and then the next one comes out, but yeah, I believe there will be a 3DS Lite at some point in the not too distant future. It might be a year, it might be a little longer, but there will be one, I'm sure.
I mean, people have been talking about the limited battery life with the 3D on, and the region locking and some other features that I really wasn't like too keen on. So I think that by the time they have enough games that interest me in a serious way, there's probably going to be a second version of it, which I assume would have much better battery life and maybe might change some of the other features that I wasn't too keen on. So it just really irritated me because I've been bitten by that before. I'd pony up to buy a DS or something, and then 2 months later they announced like a much better one, and I've already spent the money. So I'm going to just wait. And besides the fact that there's going to be a second version, like you guys said, probably before Christmas, none of the games are very interesting to me. I mean, I'm kind of interested in Kid Icarus because I've really been wanting that series to be revived for several years. But outside of that, it's like, Nintendogs, no thanks. Pilot Wings, yeah, it's okay, but it's not something that I'm really like on fire to play again. I mean, just the launch
the Street
lineup
Fighter looks good.
Well, whatever. I mean, I've played
I mean,
billion versions of Street
yeah.
Fighter, and I didn't really
I mean,
like the
but
last one either. So,
I know. I'm just saying from a visual standpoint.
oh sure, yeah,
I
sure.
mean, and honestly, I was pretty impressed. Like I saw the Resident Evil video the other day, which looked, I mean, probably on par with like GameCube Wii level graphics on a handheld. So I mean, that's pretty cool at least.
Yeah, I mean, technology-wise, it looks good, but I just nothing there seems really interesting or original to me. A lot of it seems like really repurposed stuff, and I'm just not really down with that. And to be perfectly honest, and which I'm sure will surprise absolutely no one, like I'm not even freaking interested in 3D. Like I'm not interested in getting eye strain. I mean, I'm going to be 35 this year, and I wear glasses, and so I don't really need to put my eyes at any more risk than they already are. And to me, it's just a gimmick. Like I haven't seen any really interesting applications of it. I'm sure that there will be at some point. I'm sure some genius in the industry will come up with something that's really brilliant that'll make me say, "Wow, this is really awesome," and I'm glad 3D exists. But at this point, it's just a straight up gimmick, and I really couldn't care less about it. So I'm probably going to wait for a while. I mean, I think I'll probably wait for the second generation, honestly.
I was really surprised at how much stock people are putting into the launch lineup. I mean, it's not that it doesn't factor in at all, but really, I mean, for the last like 4 system launches, right? How much of a factor was the launch lineup really to you? Because for me, when it came to the DS, the Wii, and the Xbox, it wasn't really a factor. I don't even recall what the launch games were for any of those systems, to tell you the truth. Especially with the DS. I mean, come on. I mean,
Yeah, I don't remember what the DS's launch lineup was either.
Right.
Feel the magic. Feel the magic.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's all right.
The only reason why for PS3 I started talking about launch lineup because it was just so damn expensive that you have to start thinking along those lines. But I think for the most part, when the system's cheap enough, you just want to get on board because it's like a it's gonna and once it comes out, believe me, there's gonna be a lot of talk and you're gonna feel like you don't want to get left behind kind of a thing. You know what I mean? You want to jump on board for that, and it's kind of exciting to get online. Get up at 6 a.m. in the morning or whatever have you, and get online for that shit. And it's kind of nice to do that every now and then. Believe me, I don't want to do that every year, but it's been a while, so I'm excited about that. But like I said, I mean, does that resonate? What do you guys think about that?
I would have to disagree with you, man, because I'm very much about the games. Like I can't remember the last time that I bought a system without there being at least 3 or 4 really good games that I was looking forward to. I mean, I didn't get my Xbox for I think the first year, my 360, I mean, because there was just nothing that was really interesting to me. And so for me, it's like, I mean, that's a lot of money to put out. I mean, I'm not a rich man. I mean, I'm not a high roller like you, Archie. So I guess I got to be more frugal about my purchases.
We can't all be taking trips to the Philippines for Christmas.
That's right, man. I would love to have some of that delicious fried food, but I can't afford it. So, but for me, the launch lineup is very important, and to me, this launch lineup tells me that I can wait. So I'm gonna wait, and I'm gonna feel okay about waiting.
I think for me that it does factor in. I mean, sometimes in the past, I will buy something like the 360 I bought not quite at launch. I bought it right after because there just weren't enough to go around at launch. But I got mine like a month later, and there wasn't anything that I was like dying to play at that moment. Perfect Dark Zero wasn't like something I
exactly. That was what I was thinking about too.
That I had to like rush out and have. But at the same time, you knew stuff was coming, so it felt like a pretty safe investment. Funnily enough, I put more stock into it this time with the PS3 because it seems like there are just so few exclusive games anymore that I wasn't sure for a long time if it was worth it to buy a PS3 because I figure most multi-console stuff I'm going to play on the 360 because I prefer gamer score to trophies. So, I do think, the 3DS is going to have some good games. So, I mean, I could see if money was no object, sure, I could jump in at the beginning. But, the launch lineup doesn't really blow me away. But when is the last time a launch lineup for anything blew anyone away?
And that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the last that's the reason that one of the reasons I got rid of the PS3 is just because there aren't really exclusive titles, at least for me anymore, to justify owning both a 360 and a PS3. Like if there's something I want, like I wanted to play Red Dead Redemption and it's out for both, so I only have to get one, and that's always the case. So I just get it for the 360, and it was bye bye PS3.
Richard, when I think of you, I do not think mobile gamer, but what are your thoughts on 3DS? Are you in on day one?
I am not in on day one, and I am probably not in ever. That actually has, and it actually has nothing to do with the price or the games at launch. There are a few articles that I've read saying that like Brad was talking about, where you get eye strain or headaches from looking at it, and I already kind of have a problem with getting headaches and just general dizziness and stuff like that. So I don't really think I need to add fuel to that fire. And like you said, I'm really not much of a mobile gamer anyway, so I think I'm going to pass. Like, the only reason I have a DS is because one just appeared in my
magically
closet.
appeared.
Yeah.
So a few other interesting things about 3DS I want to talk about. First of all, game prices. Has not been settled on. Nobody knows for sure yet, except that Street Fighter 4 has a big sticker on it that says $39.99. So if that's the baseline, does that mean we can expect Square games to cost $49.99? Probably.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of that? I mean, if we're looking at $40 for mobile games, are you comfortable paying that? Are you paying a tax for the 3D? I mean, what? To me, that seems high, but what are your thoughts?
Depends on the game, really. I think, because it depends on are you paying $40 for a game that's worth $40, regardless of whether it's a mobile thing or not?
I don't know of too many handheld games that are actually worth $40. So, and we've heard rumors about $50, and $50 is a complete deal breaker. If they're releasing games, if Square games are $50 and stuff like that, screw that. I'm not paying $50 for another port of Chrono Trigger, no matter how much I love that game. For a game that was on the Super Nintendo, I'm not paying $50 for Square to republish their entire back fucking catalog yet again with 3D this time. When I bought them all every time they put them out. $40, honestly, I hate paying $40 for a DS game, for a Square game. I hate paying $40 even for a PSP game. And honestly, at least when you look at the PSP games, it's like you're playing a PS2 game, whereas when you play a game, pay $40 for a DS game, it's something like Chrono Trigger, which was on the Super Nintendo, and it just seems ludicrous to be spending that kind of money on something that could have run on a 16-bit console that you could pick up at a yard sale now. But yeah, 40's too much, and it does feel like a little bit of a tax for the 3D to me, which is another thing I'm not really wild about, because the 3D is nice as an add-on, as a throw-in, as a potential bonus. But honestly, the thing that more excites me about the 3DS is just that the graphics and everything on it looks so much more powerful than the DS. So I'm just excited about that. I don't really give a rat's ass about 3D like Brad.
Well, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when people were talking about the current generation of consoles, and we had kind of settled on $50 as the maximum price point for a retail game. Yeah. And as soon as the 360 and PS3 were announced, everybody's like, well, they're going to be $60.
And have you seen anything in a game this generation that warranted $10 more over what we paid for games?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say, was because there has not really been the greatly spoken of jump in content and quality. I mean, there's been a few titles here and there which have really warranted it for sure. I mean, there's always a couple standouts.
If they wanted to raise those prices, I'm sorry to cut you off, they should have done it when you jumped from the PlayStation to the PlayStation 2, because that was a huge leap in that everybody could see in terms of graphics. If you look at the PlayStation games, when you looked at PlayStation 2, it blew you away. When you looked at PlayStation 2 or Xbox graphics, the 360 or PS3, yeah, there was an upgrade, but it didn't blow you away on the same level.
Yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't say that the jump to high definition isn't...
But when those systems launched, not everybody had high definition, though. A lot of us were still playing on standard def. I mean, people didn't start really buying into high def until those consoles have been out for a little bit.
Yeah, that's very true. Oh, I totally agree, and I think it's just like the mindset. People were saying, well, this is a more powerful console. You need to pay $10 more because. Well, yeah. Like you guys have said, I haven't seen very few things that have really justified a $60 price point. I think I've paid $60 like a handful of times, like barely any times. Like, I just don't buy games at $60. And it's kind of the same thing here. I think, well, 3DS, it's 3DS, it's better, $10 more. Well, I don't want to pay $10 more. I already buy games for the DS pretty cheap. And like Mike said, I've seen very few DS games or portable games in general that warrant that kind of price tag. I mean, I can't really think of any off the top of my head where I'd be willing to pay that much money. So for me, that's it's like a sucker bet. Putting that extra $10 in.
Let me put some of this in perspective, though, right? Because the standard retail price of a DS game, first of all, is $30, right? And then when you're talking about the premium Pokemon releases, they're easily $35, and that price almost never goes down. Like Pokemon is one of the games that never ever get discounted. Right. So when you're talking about it, at the end of the day, in most cases, it's like an additional $5, you know. So I don't, whether you want to say it's a 3D tax, I don't even see it that way. I just see it as, as you were saying earlier, Mike, it's a upgraded system. So I don't have a problem paying an additional $5 to $10 for the games. I mean, if I was going to complain about it, I would have done it at the DS level, but, we pretty much accepted it then,
I would just say to that the thing is, though, is when you look at the handheld games, and again, how many of them are just fucking ports? How many of them, all the Square games? I mean, Street Fighter 4, a lot of this stuff. I mean, if you're building something from the ground up, maybe I feel a little differently about $35 or even $40. But if you're just porting some game that's been around to a handheld, I shouldn't have to pay $40 for that.
But in all likelihood, you'll get a lot of those crappy games, I'm sure, at the $25 to $30 range. I'm sure. I mean, all the release titles are going to be maximum for that first month. I think.
But you don't see that with the DS. You don't get those games that are just ports for that until they've been out.
I think at this point you do. I mean, you see a lot of DS games that are really huge range at this point, I think. Yeah, there's a lot of casual titles, and there's just stuff.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, look at the big games, Square games, whatever. Mm-hmm. You don't see, sure, the DS is fucking full of shovelware. They're not going to sell all of it at $40 because nobody's going to buy, Raise My Crack Baby DS for $39.99. But I mean, when you get into like everything else, though, pretty much, I can't wait to play that. Kind of falls into that $29.99 to $39.99 range, somewhere in there. So I don't know. I just think, and I don't mind $30. Honestly, it's the ones that start creeping up to $35 and $40 that I kind of have a problem with, and I fucking buy them, so I'm part of the problem.
If Nintendo drops Ocarina of Time at $39.99, as great as that game was in 1997 or whatever it was, come on. For a port of Ocarina of Time,
for a port,
for a port, I would not pay that.
That would be a dangerous precedent. One other feature I want to mention about the 3DS before we move on here is the transfer service. Last week they announced that you will be able to take your digital downloads from the DSi and transfer them to the 3DS. And I was very impressed at this because it's a great precedent. This is what we were all worried about coming out of this generation. What happens to all our digital content? Now, I don't have a DSi and I'm not buying a 3DS, but still, it's great to see this being addressed. Now, it's Nintendo, so I'm sure it will be a ridiculous procedure that will involve entering a great,
gigantic
codes and pricking your finger and squeezing blood into the headphone jack, and it's going to be something asinine. But good on Nintendo for addressing it, and I hope that this will be the standard, that when we move to the next generation of devices, whether it's Xbox or PlayStation or whatever, that this will be a service that's offered. Are you guys excited about that as I am?
Well, personally, I think they had to. I mean, I think they kind of took some flack for. I remember there being a little bit of controversy. I can't recall the details off the top of my head, but I remember someone saying that there was a problem in carrying over some of your DSi data. In fact, I think it was if you bought a second DSi, like if your first one broke, you couldn't transfer your purchases over. Now, I don't have the information in front of me if that's true or not, but I think that's what the case was. So I think Nintendo took some heat. And, I mean, something like this, I mean, I agree that it's good. I can't say that I'm ecstatic because I think they damn well should have done that. I mean, you can't screw your customers every time you announce a new piece of hardware that you're going to basically invalidate those last purchases. I mean, that kind of defeats the whole this kind of illusion that they want us to believe in, that we're actually quote unquote buying these games. Well, if I buy this game, I damn well expect to play it. And if there's going to be a transfer between DS and 3DS, to me, It seems totally reasonable and should be expected that we should be able to transfer those things over. So I think it was very appropriate that they did that. And I certainly hope they don't expect some huge pat on the back, because if they didn't, I mean, that, to me anyway, would have been a huge knock.
Yeah, I think it's great that the first next-gen system has this, that it is setting the precedent, because I think it could have just as easily gone the other way, and then everyone else said, oh, well, Nintendo didn't do it, so we can get away with not doing it either. And I'm just happy, it fell in this direction. So let's move the conversation along. Let's expand a little bit beyond 3DS. I mentioned that I'm not going to buy one, and I'm not buying one because I have retired my DS completely and replaced it with the iPhone. It is my sole mobile gaming platform. And let's talk a little bit about smartphones, and I'll talk about why it works for me. And Chi, I know you're doing some Android gaming, so I want to hear from you as well. For the kinds of games I play, which, and for those who don't know, I spend 2 hours a day on a train. It's an hour train ride into work, an hour train ride back. So I have a lot of free time. I sleep, I read, and I play games. And for me, for the kinds of games I'm playing on the train, puzzle games, strategy games, adventure games, for me, the iPhone features a deep library for each of those genres. The iPhone is cheaper than a 3DS. It's $200. Obviously, you're paying for a contract as well, but you can get an iPod Touch without a contract for $229. And the games are like $1 or $1.99. Now, I know there's a lot of crap. There's a staggering amount of crap. But there are some deep titles out there. And everyone take a drink. You've got your Plants vs. Zombies, but you've got Civilization. You've got 2 games I love, Shibuya, which I put in my top 10 of last year, Drop 7. Those are as good of falling block games as you will find on any platform. You've got the Monkey Island games covering your adventure. 100 Rogues, it's a deep roguelike. It's easily as deep as Sharon the Wanderer. Game Dev Story I've talked about. I've got a version of Risk, Carcassonne. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. Fantastic racing game on the iPhone. This is a platform whose graphics and sound right now are better than the 3DS will ever be.
I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I think they might be on par with one another. I mean, the graphics are in high definition, I'll give you that. But I'm not sure if... I don't know. It'd be interesting to see like the polygon counts and the aliasing technology, whether that's there or not.
I think the Retina display on the iPhone 4 is, it's basically pixels smaller than the human eye can perceive. And I know that's not the case on the 3DS. Like right now, I'm looking at the iPhone and I'm seeing graphics certainly equal to what I'm seeing on the 360, which I don't think we'll get from the 3DS. Maybe I'm wrong. We will see. but it's a gorgeous platform. It's cheaper than 3DS. Fantastic games for the types of games I play. It is, for me, a perfect platform and renders the DS obsolete. Now, Chi, I'm not sure what your experience with the Android is. You probably, obviously, are not going so far as to retire the DS from your life, but what's your experience been like on that platform?
I've actually been really surprised, and it's funny because, we talk, as console gamers, everyone I still talk to about it on Twitter or whatever now, they're all still like, yeah, I have an Android phone, but I haven't even bothered with the games, which really kind of shocks me, because there's just so many great games available. And Android, if anything, has the smaller games lineup compared to the iPhone. Like, I'm actually jealous of the iPhone users because the iPhone, really, that market is just exploded. And, you say that there's a lot of crap games, and to sort of say that there's only a little bit of good games is really underselling it. I mean, there are really seriously a lot of games on the iPhone, like an insane amount of games, so I don't know, it'll be interesting if someone actually sort of did a tally of sort of like what the AAA games are. But I think most console gamers will be shocked at the quality of games that are out there right now. And for me, when I started looking into it, I mean, I was a long-time Palm user, and I finally had to just give up on the Palm because they just weren't like they finally had just sort of kicked the bucket, so to speak, and they got bought out by HP, and that sort of signaled the end for me. And I decided to get on Android because I just hate Apple in general. And when I bought the biggest touchscreen possible, just because I wanted to have a screen that was going to keep my son entertained at the restaurants, playing some videos for him, and I thought, yeah, it'd be kind of cute to just play a few games here and there. But what I found was I was really shocked, like as you said, that how good these games actually look. They're like right on par up there. I think with I haven't had too much experience with the PSP, but I think it's right up there just because it's high definition, and yeah, some of the games are still a little rough, and a lot of them are clones of in Android, there's like, instead of God of War, there's like Hero Sparta, and instead of Halo, it's this game called Nova. But the funny thing is that these games aren't cheesy; they're actually really well done, and then the like you said, the price point—that's the part that really shocked me because, for me, like anytime a game, a console game is like $10, that's it could be the worst looking console game ever, but for $10 I'm in. It just has to be remotely interesting, and it really just blew my mind when these games are just $1. And like that for example, and they go on sale a lot. And these that Need for Speed game you talked about, Tim, even though it's like $5.99, just a week ago it was on sale for 99 cents, and of course I picked it up for 99 cents.
Yeah.
Why not? And like you said, it's worthy of like console quality.
Yeah.
If you put that game on a DS, it would be mind blowing.
Yeah. Totally.
Do you guys think that maybe the reason some of us who are console gamers aren't so quick to jump into this market is A, because the N-Gage soured us all to these things, and B, because I don't know, this is my own personal take, I'm scared of $1 games. If a game is $1, I expect it to suck ass. So I guess that's my thing. Do you think that maybe that it's just because some of us are afraid that like you get what you pay for, and it's too good to be true that you guys are playing these fantastic games on your phone for 99 cents?
Tim?
It's definitely it's a new way to think about things. It definitely is. I mean, you basically have to change the scale in your mind. 99 cents, or maybe $1.99 is the new baseline. And you really just have to pick one up and play a great 99-cent game, and then you understand the potential. But for me, the way I look at the price point is it's almost disposable. Like, if there's a game that somebody tells me about, for me, 99 cents is, I mean, it's half a cup of coffee, basically. So if the game sucks, all right, I've lost 99 cents, big deal, who cares? But that's the, it's definitely, once you get into the habit of having an app store with, a list of 50 spectacular 99 cents games, you stop thinking about it. And it's, to me, I look at, okay, I can buy Plants vs. Zombies for 99 cents on my iPhone, or I can spend $15 for it on the Xbox. Yeah. I can spend $20 for it on Steam, or buy the DS game for $30. So, I mean, at that point, there's no question. You go with the iPhone version, and it's arguably the best version of the game.
You know, I think a lot of console gamers just don't want to process that world, really. You know.
Yeah, well, I mean, for me. I mean, I don't have a phone and don't play these games, but I'm interested in them. But yeah, I think that's exactly it. I'm almost intimidated because you hear how much stuff is out there, and it's like daunting because there's like 50 million games out there in these app stores that you can pick up, and then like you also hear like how much of it is that there's a fair ratio of crap. So I guess yeah, it's almost a little intimidating.
You know, I think.
Well, if I can just jump in for a second, real quick. I mean, I don't have a phone that can run these kind of games. I don't have a touchscreen because it's just personally, I don't like the way touchscreens work. It's just a foible of mine. But my wife has an Android device, and she being the gamer that she is, she has dabbled in quite a number of games. And I've checked them out, and you know, as everybody knows, I'm coming from a hardcore console perspective. And although there's been a few things where I'm like, okay, this was fun for like 2 minutes, there hasn't really been anything that's really sold me. I mean, I'm not that big a puzzle gamer. I haven't really seen a lot of titles where I'm like, wow, this is so amazing. I can't get this on a console, or it just for me or my particular taste, I haven't seen anything that really has really motivated me to really even get a device. I mean, they look cute, and a lot of them, like Tim kind of says, for 99 cents, I mean, they may be good, but they're not the type of games that would grab me. So I can't really see myself getting that deep into that world, you know?
You know what I say to that, Brad? And I know what you mean as well. Believe me, I'm still not a big fan of Angry Birds. It's not like I'm like this raving lunatic saying, Angry Birds, play Angry Birds. You know, like, I still kind of really don't get believe me, I'm trying to play Angry Birds, and I'm still not, like, really feeling it still, you know, and despite how everyone loves that game to death. I think for me, one of the turning points was discovering the games from Gameloft. If you go to their, like, site or their blog or anything there, like, again, they're sort of the big proprietors of putting out these clones, but they do such a great job of it. And they, you know, I played this game called Asphalt HD6, and I don't know if anyone remembers Asphalt, but I think one of the first games that I remember seeing Asphalt was it was one of those crappy DS games. You know, it was one of those throwaway, you know, like you know, had no idea what they were doing, just pure crapware. You know, for like $10 or whatever, you know, and so that I thought that name had always been like, you know, a pretty tarnished one. But you know, but then I saw it in the new system, in the new platforms, and the new mobile phones, and I looked at some of the screenshots. I was just blown away, and I tested it out on the demos at the Sprint store. And man, it's just come such a long way, you know, like, and on my trip to the Philippines, I spent a lot of time playing this game called Asphalt. And yeah, there's nothing particularly original about it, but it just sort of checks off all those things that you want out of a decent game.
I mean, you've just kind of made the argument against it for me then, because it's like I don't play games just to play a decent, you know, one-off or something. I mean, I look for like really interesting and original. And I'm sure that a lot of these phone users are going to be screaming at me, you know, as they're listening to this podcast, saying, "You don't know what you're talking about." Well, which is great. I mean, if somebody wants to email me and tell me, like, you know, tell me your top 10 like really original, really interesting games, I'll be glad to check them out. But the ones I've seen, like you said, I mean, I've seen a lot of one-offs that are like, oh yeah, it looks okay, but it's not like, you know, it's the same thing as 100 other games I've played on a console, so why would I bother? You know, like I don't see a lot of the interesting ones. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Maybe there is a lot of stuff that I've just overlooked. I mean, if that's the case, I'm very glad to check it out. But like you said, I see a ton of wannabes, and I mean, there's like 85 million different versions of Bejeweled under different names.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't even want to mess with it. You know, it's like I don't see any standouts there. You know.
Well, in the case of what Tim was saying, the best version of the game may often be on the mobile platform. In the case of those puzzle games, and yeah, it's a bit of a novelty, and you know, and I'm not saying this game, if I had a choice between the console version and the phone, that I'm going to choose the phone version. You know, it is sort of a lifestyle issue as well. You know, I just don't have a lot of time these days, and I'm carrying my phone, and it's on the bus, and I'm just surprised at the level of experience that I'm getting from this. It's sort of an eye opener, and that sort of has led me to believe that maybe there's other games out there with that kind of potential. And certainly games like Game Dev Story, as Tim has been raving about, reaches those potentials. So
Yeah, that's
it's sort
true.
of like
That's
that.
actually one. That's one of the first ones when I've really been like, oh, okay, well maybe this is something I should check out. That's like one of the first ones I got to say, but there hasn't been many.
But
So-
and again, the other factor, Brad, you got to keep in mind is they almost give these games away. Half of them I didn't even pay for. Like seriously, like they'll give them away and you can just get them for free. So it's not even like you have to pay for them, you know. So that's
I hear that, but I mean, for me, it's like I don't have the free time, and so my gaming has to be like really high quality gaming. So there's no way conceivable that I would waste an hour on some throwaway, Halo clone or something. Because I just don't have that kind of free time. I mean, I don't have a long commute, and I don't have a lot of downtime for just to be sitting around somewhere. So when I finally do get a chance to play something that I want to play, it's got to be top of the line. And by that, I don't mean it has to be the best graphics or anything, but it has to be interesting and original enough for me to warrant spending the time on it. So that's kind of why I haven't really gone that direction.
But I think the parallel here, Brad, for you is your quest to play 227 indie games on Xbox Live, because it is the same kind of thing. You are wading through a massive field of crap to find the gems, and you're probably only going to pay 99 cents for the gems. I would, I'll make the statement now, because when I make a statement, it's really important. This is the future. This form of distribution is the future, and this is where I realized it. We're sitting. My brother and I and my father were sitting in a bar. We're watching the Browns lose, of course, football.
So that could be any Sunday.
It could be any Sunday. And we're sitting there. My brother pulls out his Android, and he is playing a game called Doodle Jumper, which is I don't know if you've played it, Chi. It's a silly little tilt platformer. Little dude jumps up the screen. Tight controls, very clever, 99 cents. He says, have you seen this game? And I said, oh, that looks great. So I played it once. I pulled out my iPhone. I went to the App Store, typed in Doodle Jumper, downloaded it. Within 3 minutes, I have the game on my phone. And the reason this is the future is every barrier to my purchasing that game was removed. Price, not an issue, 99 cents. Distribution method, downloaded over the Verizon network. Didn't have to drive to a store, didn't have a chance to reconsider the purchase. Chi, if you had told me to go buy Dragon Quest IX, I may change my mind in the car. I may change my mind when I get to the store and look at the price tag. All the barriers are gone. And this is how the teeny boppers, the kids, the high schoolers are buying their games and sharing them with each other and how they're learning about them. And I made the statement on Twitter the other day, there is not a teenager on this planet who would rather have a 3DS over an iDevice. I would argue you couldn't find one. This is where we're going. And I'm not saying that 3DS and cartridge-based or disc-based mobile gaming is disappearing, but iPhone is here to stay, and I think it's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and I do believe it will become dominant at some point in the near future.
Yeah, and I don't know what the App Store is like, but how everyone complains about like in the Xbox indie games, you can't find the good stuff, and how WiiWare, that store, Nintendo has yet to produce a decent online store. But the stores for the Android market, and I suspect for Apple, they are the models, because as much as crap they are, as much as crap is out there, it is not very hard to find the good stuff. Because they have they're the ones with the good ratings. They're the ones that get promoted higher up on the feature list. I don't know how what kind of algorithm they're using, but it's not hard to find a good game. There is a lot of crap out there, but yeah, it's pretty easy to find the good stuff, and there's tons of good stuff, that's just waiting to be, downloaded and played.
It is funny because in the App Store, it's the only 5-star rating system I've ever seen where all 5 stars get used. Like on Xbox Live, every game is rated between 4 and 5. Or on Amazon, everything is between 3 and 5. But on the Apple App Store, there are 1-star games, there are 0-star games, and it's very evenly distributed. So you're right. Whatever they're doing, it's working. It is the model.
The only thing I wanted to clarify just really quickly was like I don't disagree with you in terms of the method that these games are being delivered. I think your point about the ease of purchase and the impulse purchase is a very valid one, and I don't disagree with that at all. My concern is just strictly the quality of the games. I mean, if I started seeing a wave of games that looked like must plays, I'd be there tomorrow. So I don't dispute the mechanism. I just dispute the content for me personally right now.
And keep in mind, I think 2010 was sort of like Android coming into its own. Maybe even iPhone coming into its own a bit as well. Now we're seeing like Epic Unreal Engine on iPhone and also now on Android as well for the first time. So I think 2011 for mobile gaming is going to be a really landmark year.
I agree completely. And we forget this, real smartphone gaming is truly in its infancy. I mean, it's 3 years maybe. So, who knows what we're going to see. Are we going to see the Super Mario Brothers of smartphone gaming here in the next couple of years? I think we will. We have not mentioned PSP at all. I prefer it that way. But does anyone have any point they would like to make about the oft-rumored PSP 2? What they might want to see from it? Do you think it'll be a factor? Do you even care?
I care. I like my PSP. I play it quite a bit, at least as much as my DS these days. So I think everybody wants 2 analog sticks. If Sony can see their way to providing that, it might find some market share. The other thing that concerns me is what's it going to cost. I don't think that they can come out and be $300 or more and compete with the 3DS and the phones and all that. So I think the platform will need to come out and they're gonna eliminate UMDs and all that. So it's gonna be probably like the phones where everything is download and everything, which is interesting. But for me, it comes down to, will it just be something to play games, or are they going to try to make it like 75 different things like they kind of did with the PSP, where you can play music, you can watch movies, blah, blah, blah. And if they can keep the price point down, like I said, under $300, they'll have a shot. I don't know how good a shot, because the PSP didn't exactly inspire confidence, moving forward with them for, what in the handheld market, I guess. But, I'm interested. I will definitely be interested when it comes out.
So it's rumored that Sony's also making a smartphone. Is there a chance that PSP2 is going to be that smartphone, or are they talking about it differently?
That's been the rumor. That's been one of the rumors that's floated around, as I understand it, that somehow this could all go together, or it might be something separate. Nobody really knows. I mean, this is like the best, worst kept secret in game history or something. It's really confusing.
I heard that the phone is going to be kind of a Europe only thing. And again, like you guys said, there's nothing at all definite out there. There's no hard information. I was hearing that the Europe thing was going to be a phone-ish device, and that it was going to be more of a standard games-ish device for the States. But then again, that could be completely wrong. It's totally hearsay, so hard to say. And as a PSP player, like you, Mike, I mean, I ditto everything you said, and my 2 main concerns are, A, 2 sticks are a must. If that thing does not have 2 sticks, I refuse to buy it. And
I'm not buying another 1 stick.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And the second thing, just like you said, it needs to not be a multimedia device. It needs to be a games device. I mean, I think that the PSP had great potential. I mean, it was a beautiful, sexy device.
It really did.
Yeah, great tech. I mean, there was some really sharp-looking games. And they just completely pissed all that away by trying to make it all things to all people. Mm-hmm. And for me, I don't really need a TV viewer, movie viewer, phone, picture sorter,
Especially
blah, blah,
not
blah.
now.
Yeah, especially not now, when I could easily go down and buy an iPhone and get all that stuff and undoubtedly have it be done better than Sony could do it. So all I want from them is a really slick, dedicated games machine. And if that's what it is, then I will be interested as well.
Is the big question that's still remaining is, how much is iPhone gonna eat into 3DS's lunch?
Do you think it will? I mean, I don't know. I'm curious about that. I don't really have an opinion one way or the other.
And it's almost like how much has it already eaten into like Nintendo and Sony's portable market?
Well, I kind of wonder about that. I mean, I guess, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong in thinking this, but when I think of the DS, I tend to think, that's something that you usually see little kids playing, and that's not a slight to Nintendo that they're a kiddie console maker or anything like that. But, and iPhones are kind of more for hip, 20-something or older adults, basically, although maybe they're not so hip anymore because everybody I see has a fucking iPhone. But, I don't know. It seems almost to me, just as a casual observer, it almost seems like they're going for two sort of separate audiences. And there is some crossover, but I don't think there's a lot of crossover.
One interesting thing is how the Nintendo DS, they kind of dropped the ball on the whole preschool market, and actually that's where Apple and Android, they're actually really good in that department. And I've actually read articles about how like parents have all these apps for their preschooler kids, and how like these preschool kids are like begging for the iPhone, like they'll beg for their parents' iPhone.
My niece and nephew, my 4-year-old nephew and my 2-year-old niece can work the iPhone. They find the games they want to play on it. They can totally work it. Neither one of them could work a DS.
All right, so that's all kind of anecdotal, but it'll be interesting when these kids get a little older what they're going to be asking for,
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking just for my daughters, they're in preschool, we're working on reading, and there are some amazing educational apps on iPhone, and what we've been doing is play the flashcard game, or the sight words, flashcards, whatever it happens to be, and then as a reward, let's minimize that app and go over to Fruit Ninja or something and play that game for 10 minutes, as a reward for doing well, in the app. And that's kind of how, it's how they're learning to read, and it's also how I'm sort of slowly introducing them to games. And they are whiz kids on the iPhone. They know that perfectly. But if I handed them an Xbox controller, they would be completely lost. Yeah. Anything else on smartphones? We should probably take a break, and we'll wrap this up by talking about some of our eagerly anticipated games coming up here in the next few months in 2011. Stay with us after the music. We'll be right back. Finally starting to come out. We thought we'd name check some of our most anticipated upcoming releases. I just have a couple. I'm not really all that excited about anything, really, but a couple games I'm somewhat piqued my interest. One is Full House Poker, which is coming to Xbox Live Arcade.
Does that have the Olsen twins in it?
Oh! Oh, good reference.
Thank you.
I love that.
That reference just did 10,000 hit points of damage.
Seriously. I just have visions. I've got like Dave Coulier on my left.
Dave Coulier, yeah.
Saget on the right. The Kimmy
Stamos.
Yeah, Stamos is there.
Stamos.
Oh, I love it. I'm this close to knocking out the theme song, but I'm not going to do it. So Full House Poker, they're calling it the spiritual successor to 1 versus 100. I love online poker. I love gambling, but I only like to do it against real opponents and for real stakes, preferably money, but achievements and avatar rewards will will do in a pinch. So I just hope that Microsoft supports it and nurtures it and promotes it, like it did Game Room. So that's coming out in a few weeks. I'm looking forward to that. The other thing I'm really looking forward to are the Torchlights. We have the XBLA release of the original Torchlight, and then Torchlight 2 on PC. I love that first game, and the sequel looks great as well. So that's really all that's on my radar for the first few months of the year, at least. Richard, we haven't heard from you in a while, so I'll give you the floor. What are you looking forward to?
Well, I have 3 titles that I'm going to name drop. One of them might come as somewhat of a surprise, but I don't think the other 2 will. The first one is Portal 2. I loved Portal. It would have been my 2007 Game of the Year if I had been in a position to choose a 2007 Game of the Year. The Portal gun was just one of the few game mechanics of the past decade or so that you could legitimately call innovative. So I'm just looking forward to what they can do with that in the second go around.
Hey,
the second game,
Richard.
Yes.
Not a surprise. Not a surprise at all.
I did not intend it to be a surprise, and that's the one I thought you were going to bring up, Tim.
I still think Portal 2 is trying too hard. I think it's overreaching.
Really?
I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as special as the first one. I hope I'm wrong. It's Valve. They don't usually let me down, but I am cautiously optimistic.
Well, we'll see. The second game is Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. I've been addicted to the Bethesda overwhelmingly huge universe since Morrowind. Morrowind was my first real Western RPG, so I've got a bit of a soft spot for it. Oblivion was a little hit or miss for me. There were parts of it I really liked. There were parts I did not like. I liked Fallout 3, and then they're going back to the Elder Scrolls with Skyrim, so I'm looking forward to that. And then the third game is Star Wars: The Old Republic. I don't generally go for MMOs, but I like BioWare, and to me, the first Knights of the Old Republic game is the best thing to ever come out of Star Wars in any medium. So, and this is ostensibly the replacement for the Knights of the Old Republic 3 that we never got, so I really want it to be good.
Disappointment ahoy.
I hope it's good, Richard. I hope for everyone's sake that game is great. I just don't think so.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm giving them the because Knights of the Old Republic 1 was so good. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt for now, but I imagine that at some point I'll just be pissed off about having to go collect 10 Wookiee pelts and go deliver it to Admiral Smackbar or something.
You should have given a spoiler alert, dude, because now that first quest is going to be ruined.
That first quest is ruined for everybody.
Sorry.
Brad Gallaway, my old friend, what are you looking forward to here?
Well, I was kind of looking forward to just the first quarter. Kind of like you, there's not a ton that I'm super excited about, but there were a couple titles. The first one is Two Worlds 2. Now I have to cheat a little bit because I actually did just get a review copy yesterday, so I actually have my hands on it. And as everybody who plays consoles probably knows, the original Two Worlds was the biggest joke of a game. I mean, it was wrong in so many ways. It was just a steaming pile, and the developers shouldn't have dreamed of releasing it in the state it was in. So Two Worlds 2 is not really on a lot of people's radar as something to look forward to, but I saw it at PAX last year, and it was looking head and shoulders better than the first game. And after having spent the afternoon with it yesterday, I got to say, it's pretty fucking cool. So big props to the developers for turning that around. It's actually a little unfortunate that they kept the title, because Two Worlds 2 is so much better than the first one. Keeping that title is just going to make people stay away from it because they're going to associate it with the crap fest that was number one. And this game is so much better.
Plus, that title is just stupid.
It's stupid, yeah. Two Worlds 2 is kind of a stupid title. But basically, it's like Oblivion minus all the stupid stuff. So I kind of liked Oblivion, but there was a lot of stuff that I didn't like in it. So it's faster paced, it's more streamlined, it's more action-packed, the combat's better, the magic system's better. And it's huge. It's really huge, too. So for me, Two Worlds 2, which actually hasn't released yet, so I guess it still technically qualifies as something to look forward to, is a really good game. So if anybody listening to this It's really, really good. If you like Oblivion and you want something that moves a little faster, check that out. Good stuff. The second thing I'm looking forward to from Namco is called Knight's Contract. It's a really super violent, super bloody combat game. It's kind of like medieval themed, where you control an immortal warrior who has to escort a witch on this adventure to do whatever stuff or something. But the hook is that your character is immortal. He cannot be killed. And so, although it seems as though the game is going to be one giant escort mission, which I don't think anybody is really up for, the developers have been saying they put some interesting spins on it where the person you're protecting can kind of hold their own within reason, and there's supposed to be all kinds of interesting twists. So I'm always up for something extra violent and bloody, and this one sounds like it's got a good hook. And the last one is Lord of Arcana for PSP. Now, I'm looking at Lord of Arcana for two reasons. Oh, you know what I'm talking about, Mike?
Yeah.
All right, okay. So the first reason I'm looking at Lord of Arcana is because it kind of sort of seems like a one-off of Monster Hunter. And if anybody's been following me on Twitter or my blog, you guys know I've been pretty deep into Monster Hunter for like at least the last 6 months, maybe the last year or so. And I really dig Monster Hunter in a big way. So this one seems to take that same general Monster Hunter idea and tweak it in a few different areas. So I'm kind of curious to see how that plays out. But the second reason, and the more important reason, is that Swery65, who was the mastermind behind Deadly Premonition, which ended up being my game of the year, is actually working on this title. So I'm interested in anything he does. I think he's really brilliant. And after hearing that he's got a couple fingers in this pie, that immediately got my attention. So even though I was kind of already sort of looking at it, knowing that Swery is in on this game makes it like 10 times more interesting to me. So I'll definitely be checking that one out.
What's the other one that's coming out that's like kind of like Monster Hunter 2? God something?
Yeah, it's like God Eater Burst. I think it's
God
called.
Eater. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Monster Hunter is so freaking huge in Japan. I'm surprised it's taken this long to get the wannabes out there. But yeah, those two are hitting at about the same time, I think.
Brad, I noticed omitted from your list Dragon Age 2.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that hitting Q1?
I guess. To be honest, I've actually kind of forgotten about it. To be honest, I was just kind of so-so on Dragon Age. I mean, I liked the characters, I liked the story, but I ended up giving it, it was like an 8 or something. There was a lot of stuff that was wrong with it, I mean, it was not a perfect game by any means. And actually going back to some of the DLC, it soured me. Like, I didn't want to go back to it. I didn't want to play it anymore. So it's okay. I mean, I've already pre-ordered it, to be honest, because I wanted a lot of the extras that are coming with the bonus edition.
Only Brad would say that. Yeah, I'm not crazy about this game, but I just pre-ordered it.
Well, I only do it for the BioWare games. I don't do it for any other company because I'm still kind of a sucker for BioWare. Although since they merged with EA or whatever, I've really kind of shied away from them a little bit. But we'll see. I mean, I played a little bit of Dragon Age 2, and it seems interesting, but I have some real reservations on it, so I can't honestly say that I'm really that jazzed about it.
Yeah, Dragon Age 2 almost made my anticipated list, mainly because the console version of the game really got the shaft in terms of the combat mechanics, because it was really just kind of a messy, just kind of a messy interface and everything else. It was really more suited to a mouse and a keyboard just so you could click on stuff and it wasn't as just so crazy. So, I mean, really, I loved the original Dragon Age. I wasn't really all that excited when they said they were going to make the protagonist like basically just like Commander Shepard. So it came out to be getting called like Dragon Effect 2 or Mass Age 2 or whatever it was called. So we'll see. I mean, I don't. Right now, without having actually played it, I don't think I'll like it as much as the first one, but I don't know. We'll see.
I'm one of the few people that was like fine with the console version of Dragon Age, exactly the way it was on the console. I had no problem with the combat system. I was fine with the controls. I was fine I loved that game top to bottom. Agreed with everything that you praised it, for back in 2010. So that's actually would be my pick. Would be Dragon Age 2. So I'm going to pick that.
I just saw a news story that the original Dragon Age has been approved by the FDA as a prescription sleep aid.
I actually bought it over the break, but I haven't started playing it yet.
I saw another news article that said 2 Human had been approved for use in lethal injection chambers.
Oh,
I thought you were going to say it was going to be a laxative.
yeah.
It's
Richard,
both,
man.
really.
Richard's bringing it tonight.
Certainly is. Certainly is. May not be bringing it next time, though.
I did have one other picked.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
From Dust, from Eric Chahi. I see that's still scheduled for sometime in 2011. So from the guy who brought us Another World / Out of This World.
Yeah.
So still very little information out there about it, but whatever this guy's doing, I'm on board.
Fantastic. Here. Yeah, I can't wait. I cannot wait to get more news on that. That's going to be something to see. Brack Attack. Close it out here. What do we got?
All right, my choices. First up, thing I'm most looking forward to. Hopefully, it comes out this year. Please, God, Diablo 3.
Yeah.
Yes, more loot whoring, killing things. I'm all about that. Diablo 3 actually looks pretty cool too. I'm excited to see what Blizzard does with it, and I think it's going to be huge. Big prediction there. Going out on a limb. Other things. Let's see. This is an interesting choice because I didn't love the last game particularly, but I'm going to hope that this fixes it. Gears of War 3. I enjoyed the first Gears of War quite a bit. Gears of War 2, I didn't like the single player as much. I didn't think the story was as good. I thought it, tried too hard. But I'm interested in seeing where Gears 3 goes. I don't know. Is this only a trilogy? Is this the end of the line for Gears? I kind of hope so. I would like to see that story wrap up and get closure. So looking forward to that. I'm kind of interested in Bulletstorm. I wasn't. And then the more stuff I see about it, it just looks like a big, stupid, mindless, fun, shoot people in the face game, which I kind of like sometime. So that one's on the list for me. And Deus Ex, the new one, if that actually comes out, too. I'm pretty excited about that. Love the first game. Like to see that series come back and start moving in the direction of the first game again and see where it goes. So those are just a couple of things I'm looking forward to this year. I'm sure there will be a million things that we haven't heard of yet that will be exciting too. So
Notable omission, no one looking forward to Duke Nukem Forever.
No.
I don't understand the obsession with it at all.
I'm just looking forward to reading. There's going to be a lot of articles. I think the reviews for this game it will just be fascinating reading. I have no interest in playing it, but the reviews are going to be just a great week of reading, I think, is what I'm looking forward to. So, guys, let's wrap this show up. We're just about out of time. I need to get out of the studio. They're flagging me out. So let's close this out. I want to thank, and look, anyone listening to this show, I want to thank you for listening. And we don't ask a lot of you, but if you like the show, the best thing that you could do to support us is tell a friend. Link to us in your Twitter feed, post something on a message board, but tell someone about us. That is how you could repay us for the gift of this podcast. And I use the word gift very, very loosely.
It's in quotes, right?
It really is. I mean it sarcastically. So, but we do. We love the audience. We love you all so much, and it would mean the world to us if you would spread the GameCritics.com gospel. As always, you can subscribe to the show through iTunes, Zune, listen live off the GameCritics.com homepage. You can leave your comments there if you're shy. Sweet boy, if you're shy, email your comments to podcast@GameCritics.com. We'll read them there as well. My thanks to you fine gentlemen, Chi Kong Lu, Brad Gallaway, Mike Bracken, official co-host Richard Nyack. Heck, let's thank the entire GameCritics.com family. We all wish you, the audience, good night and bonne chance. feel the magic. Feel the magic.